Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It's July 10th, 2026. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I took over facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon. If you see me in person, I always have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team, also known as a PIT crew, and you'll hear more about them in just a few minutes. Our agenda this morning, I like to start out with success stories, and then we'll go to 30-second introductions for everybody in the room, and then we'll do 30-second introductions for everybody online. We'll then share job leads if we have any recruiters online with us. And then we'll hear from the Interview Success Workshop, the practice interview team, the career tip of the week, and then we'll have our main event about the top of the hour. Well, I like to start the meeting off with good news. I know we have donuts here, so whoever's whoever wants to go first, tell us your good news. Tim. Good morning, y'all. Or is it on? Yeah.
Good morning, y'all. Hopefully you can hear me. Yes, my name is Tim Farrell. I'm an electrical design verification engineer, and I landed this week. Thank you. Thank you. My new position will be a senior specialist electrical engineer FPGA at L3 Harris. My job will mostly be in Plano, so I don't have to move. We'll have to occasionally report to the Greenville site. I start on July 27. Found the job first from just going to South Lake, where Pete Hernandez announced that there was going to be a job fair at L3 Harris. And I kind of thought I wasn't going to go. And then Fabian of this group really convinced me that I should go. So I went. At the job fair, I had 2 interviews there, which resulted in a follow-up video interview. And then the HR called me and offered me a job. So I guess that's three interviews I had there. Length of time from initial contact until offer, I think that's about 1 month. And what I learned in the process and advice for job seekers, sort of my guiding light on my job search, hopefully it's helpful, is to dream big, follow your dreams, stay stubborn about your success, and make progress every day. And my name is Tim Farrell, and I have landed.
Right. And the second landing.
Hi, everybody online and everybody here. My name is Kathleen McGregor, and I have landed. My position is garnishment manager at Topgolf, and I start on July 20th. I found the job through LinkedIn, and I applied on their website, and I didn't have any connections there. It was just a divine intervention that the recruiter found me and that my skill set was exactly what they were looking for. I had, let's see, a recruiter screen on, it was the first week in July, I can't remember. And then I had a virtual interview on the 10th of July. And then my in-person interview was on the 25th of July. And I was offered the role last Wednesday. And during that time, I also interviewed with a law firm and was also offered a role with them. So, but I chose the better of the two. Let's see. Length of time from initial contact. It was about a month. So, and I got the job offer exactly 1 year to the date for my layoff. So, what I learned from this process is to just keep persevering and don't give up hope and pray without ceasing because God guides you. And He guided me to this job. After my Zoom interview, I was so unsure because I'd not had any interviews in my entire 11 months of job search. And I asked him, I was like, will you please give me a golf sign, a golf ball or something? And I got 5 signs from him directly related to golf. And my brother got 3 and my niece got 1. So he was definitely letting me know this was the place to go. So always thank him for everything, even your trials. It teaches you something. Um, and it's just don't give up. Thank you. And again, my name is Kathleen McGregor, and I've landed.
Congratulations, Kathleen. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. Well, I actually heard from 4 other people who were part of this group in the past and have disappeared. Jennifer Rivera, Michael Wilk, Mark Handy, and Laura McCord all landed jobs. So it's 38, 39, 40. So we're up to 40 jobs when I get Tim and Kathleen added to the list. So people are landing. Don't give up. All right, for everybody who's online right now, if you will, open up the chat window and give us your name, the position you're looking for. Give us 2 or 3 target companies that you're interested in. Give us your email, LinkedIn address if you'd like, phone, city if you'd like. And if you have companies that you have connections, please let us know who those are. And you may be able to help somebody else who's on the list. So I'll put 30 seconds on the clock to get started. Whoop. One more time here. And if you're still typing, please continue on and get your information in the chat window. That way, everybody else can network with you, and you'll get a copy of the chat tomorrow in your email so you can follow up with anybody you see online. All right, it's time to do introductions for those people who are in person. So if you will, come on down, grab the mic, and we'll do the 30-second introductions for those people here in the room first. Come on. Come on down.
Come on down.
Grant, grab the mic. Yep.
Cool. Good morning. My name is Gary Humphrey. This is my first visit with you guys. I saw some of y'all yesterday at South Lake. I am a senior operations manager and director. Started a lot of my career here in the Plano area with GE Capital and also EDS at their old, soon to be gone headquarters. I currently targeting AT&T so I can go back home, and NTT, and I've also looked at Linux. I have an interview next week with the 20, which I never heard of, if any of you guys know what that is, but it's founded by an old ex-EDSer. So anyway, I do have some contacts. So if anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, I have a pretty long career with a lot of major companies, IBM, EDS, and a lot of the EDS people have spread out across this area too. Oh. Again, my name is Gary Humphrey.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Polly Dunn, a Senior Administrative Assistant. I'm transitioning into office manager or front office coordinator type roles. Actually, this week I've been working more with outside recruiting firms, Robert Half this week, and have been with Beacon Hill and Thomas Edwards Group. So I did have 2 phone screens with Fujitsu for an administrative role, and then also with Thomas Printworks for an office coordinator. I'm hoping that I will be selected for the hiring manager to want to interview me. And my name is Polly Dunn.
Thank you very much.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm John Hamer, Senior Technical Project Manager and Supply Chain Solutions Professional. I am looking for positions in that area, either as in telecommunications or aerospace and defense. My target companies are RTX, Collins Aerospace, Fujitsu, and actually, if anybody has or knows someone, Verizon is looking for a detail engineer, preferably with telecom background, especially if you have some Verizon background. But if you want to contact me, I have a recruiter. They're looking for a contract position for a detail engineer at Verizon. My name is John Hamer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joel Rowe. I'm looking for brand designer, graphic designer, art director, or creative director positions at either companies that have a creative department or advertising or design firms. Specific companies, due to the nature of what I do, I don't really have any specific companies yet. For designer advertising agencies within the DFW area, like Three-Headed Monster or some other major advertising firms. For corporations, I've worked for Texas Instruments before. I might have a lead there that might come to fruition, but for other companies, yeah, it just depends. But that's it. Again, my name is Joel Rowe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Valerie Braxton Williams. I am looking for opportunities as a director of product management. My current target companies are Vizient, Syncora, Omnicell, and Texas Instruments. I have contacts at a variety of locations. I think it's easier if we dial in, but specifically, I could say L3 Harris, McKesson, Kimberly Clark. So I think I can help in a variety of ways. My name is Valerie Braxton Williams.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Belzil. So I'm looking for a Director of Data Analytics Products role. My tagline is that I help companies ring their performance bell by converting data into dollars. So specifically looking for contacts at my target companies, Keurig Dr. Pepper, Hershey, and Frito-Lay. So I have contacts at Walmart, Circana, and Epsilon. My name is Mike Belzil.
Great, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vishal Ishwar, and I am looking for. I'm from the data and management background, data analytics, technical BA, and product background. I need contacts at. I'm looking for contacts at American Airlines and Lockheed Martin and SpaceX. If somebody has contacts, that would be great. I I have contacts, but most of them are recruiters and connections in automotive and some just staffing agencies and consulting companies. So I can probably help with those if I have. And my name is Vishal Ishwar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Michelle D. Williams. Currently looking for positions, um, some type of maybe facilitator or learning and development coordinator. I don't have any targeted companies yet. I've been out of the workforce for well over a decade, so I don't have any contacts. My background is pretty much in IT healthcare support, like clinical applications, but the position I'm looking for doesn't necessarily have to be in healthcare. It's just where I'm strong at. And again, my name is Michelle D. Williams.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hari Kalyander. I'm looking for jobs in finance, specifically a senior financial analyst or financial consultant. As far as target companies, I'm open-minded because finance is a shared service like HR. So focusing on maybe banks and any Fortune 500 companies or even mid-sized companies in the Dallas area. I have contacts at a variety of places. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. But one thing I just thought of this. Trevor Houston can get anyone an introduction at New York Life and likely lead to first interview. So if you want to reach out to Trevor Houston, I know most of you probably heard his name before. So again, my name is Hari Kalyander, looking for finance roles.
Thank you.
Hi, Jason Rice, Senior Software Development Manager, mostly 3D, digital twins, simulation training. I don't have any target companies, but I need help finding a networking group like this in Boynton Beach, Florida, for a former direct report that's awesome, that she's about to take a severance package. So if anybody knows any networking groups or anything to get into in Boynton Beach in that area, please, I'll be your best friend forever.
Great. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. All right. It's time to let's do everybody who's online. If you will, please raise your hand so that way I know to call on you and only call on you one time and not two or three times. So Sapna, I'll let you go first.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Sapna Shah. I'm a PMP and CSM certified Scrum Master. Currently looking for opportunities in the financial services sector or even the government sector. My target companies right now are Susser Bank, PNC, and NTTA. My name is Sapna Shah.
Thank you. Steve.
Good morning. My name is Steve Roland. I'm a retired .NET developer. I've got contacts at Fiserv and the VA. And my name is Steve Roland.
Thank you. Rupna. Where'd you go, Rupa?
Yeah.
There
Yes.
we go.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Rupa. I'm originally from India. I've come to the US 3 years back. I have 12 to 15 years of work experience as a business and data analyst, and then I'm a certified product owner. My end client was PepsiCo. I had to leave, I was working as a contractor and I had to resign in March. So last 3 months has been a bit of a struggle. So any contacts in retail, fintech, or supply chain domains are welcome. Thank you, Rupa, once again. Yep.
Thank you, Brian.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian McGovern. I am seeking an HR or benefits coordinator position. I am looking for contacts this week at Residio, Paycom, Digital Realty, and some Samsung SDS. I have contacts at Mr. Cooper, Korn Ferry, and Hilton. And once more, my name is Brian McGovern.
Thank you, Tracy.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Harris. I'm a senior search consultant with Thomas Edwards Group. You've probably seen some of us in some of these other networking groups as well. We are a boutique staffing firm specializing in accounting, finance, HR, and IT recruiting. We do both direct hire and contract hire, and we're local to the area, but do have a few roles in Houston and in Austin. My name is Tracy Harris.
Thank you. Karen.
Hi, my name is Karen Stafford Brown. I'm looking for a role in business development or business operations for engineering firm. My background's in water and municipal, and my name is Karen Stafford Brown. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else online? We've got a number of people who have not raised their hand. Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Jacqueline Gilchrist Whitaker. I relocated from New York. I'm looking for a job as a dean of culture, dean of student in one of the charter schools, public schools. Yes, thank you. I don't have a target market. I just moved down here.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Scott.
Hey, Scott Alexander, looking for a remote work from anywhere IT product owner role. For some reason, my Zoom bar does not have a raise hand icon, so that's why I didn't raise my hand.
All right, thank you. The other Scott.
Good morning, everybody. Scott Boudreau, Certified Planning, Inventory Management, looking for a supply chain job in central New Jersey or remotely, specializing in inventory control or production planning. I can get you the right part at the right place at the right time and cost. Scott Boudreau.
All right. Anybody else online? Rosina.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I'm your Career Tip of the Week host, so I'll be back shortly. And I'm looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition business partner or senior recruiter position in any industry because I've worked across several. And then as far as specifics, I'm looking for a contact at Walmart, but specifically the Visio team. And as far as me being able to help as we connect, let me know if whoever you need introductions to, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Again, Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Business Partner or Senior Recruiter position. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Anybody else online? Anyone else? Last call. All right, we'll move on. Job leads. Tracy, tell us what's going on Thomas Edwards Group.
Uh, we're in July, so it's been a little bit quieter as a lot of people, I think, are taking vacations. But some new ones I can share this week are we have some contract roles, Salesforce developer, some cybersecurity engineering roles. On the IT side, we have a role specializing in travel and expense. I just got a senior financial analyst position, which is requiring a blend of accounting and finance, as well as Tableau experience. We have some higher level roles in commercial lending, so VP of finance, and a nonprofit for director of finance and accounting. So some various roles. So a little bit quieter, but things are still coming in.
Great, Tracy, thank you very much. And if you want to reach out to her, her contact information is in the chat and it'll be available to everybody when I send it out tomorrow. All right, time to hear from the Interview Success Workshop. All glass.
Good morning, everyone that's present. Good morning, everyone online. It's Friday. So what do I offer? How can I help you in your job search? Well, there's many things. Job search has four basic parts. The first part is knowing ourselves, knowing what we love to do, knowing how to describe ourselves, being able to articulate that. The second part of that is figuring out what are my marketing materials, LinkedIn, resumes, all that sort of thing. Anything, business cards, etc. The third part is networking, where you try to get inside of companies, you try to talk to people to learn about different topics, whatever the purpose of that networking visit would be. And then lastly is the interview. And why do I put interview at the end? Because everything that you do points towards the interview. And that's the last stop. And so while I focus on helping people, I really focus on the interviewing part, because this is the part that can make us or break us. So I offer the free interview success workshop. I tried for 2 hours yesterday to insert the word free on my banner page, still unsuccessful. Zoom doesn't make it easy for you to do that, or LinkedIn doesn't. But the idea is it's a learning interview. It's not a mock interview. We're learning how to sell ourselves. And so what we're selling is who we are. And so my question is, can you articulate and describe yourself? And what we do, our expertise and our knowledge and experience. And so can you articulate what that is that's relevant to the job? And then lastly, how we combine those to say, and this is how we can help. People hire us to accomplish things, not just to do things. So if all we're selling is I do, then we're missing the boat. So we want to include all three. So it's a very informal learning. You have 12 basic categories of questions, and we're going to get a question out of each. I hold it online on Tuesdays on Zoom most of the time. And the idea is I will have you interview each other. I'll give you the questions, and then you can respond, and I'll video that, and you'll get that video. So it is a learning situation. Plus, you're going to get some more information. You get a handout with another video attached to it and some other documents that can help you through the job search related to interviewing. So be glad to have you participate. Glad to have you participate. Now, for all of you that know all of that and you've been waiting for the poem, because I know some of you have heard this speech multiple times. Well, let me see. Does interviewing make us squirm and writhe and wriggle like a worm? Well, I continue to say it's practicing the way it will create short term, create a job search of short term. Okay. I only practiced that twice this morning. So that tells you need to practice your interview just like I need to practice my poem. All right. It's great to see all of you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Paul. All right, let's talk about the practice interview team. The practice interview team meets in person on Wednesdays from 1 to 3 o'clock right here in this room. They meet in person on the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesdays of the month. On the fourth Wednesday of the month, they meet online only, so that way anyone around the United States can jump in on a Zoom call and watch people being interviewed. They always interview 3 people every week. If you want to get on their schedule, just send a email with your job description, whatever job description you'd like, and your resume. Just send it to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. They'll get you on the schedule. Their motto is practice early, practice often. Don't wait until you have an interview. Don't wait until you're waiting for that phone call to come in. You want to be prepared what to say and how to say it. So join the practice interview team. They always have 3 interviews every week. It's about a 45-minute interview and then about 15 to 20 minutes of feedback. And you don't get feedback when you go to the real job interview. So this is the only place you're going to get that. So join them. All right, time to hear the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Good morning again, Jeff, and good morning again, and happy Friday, everyone. All right, this week's tip of the week is kind of lengthy, and so you'll get the full article tomorrow when Jeff sends it out. But today's tip of the week is reading between the lines, what job postings actually mean. And this is an actual research report. This is produced by the interview guys. And so here's the summary version. So first, from an executive summary and some key takeaways, there are some core red flags you need to look for. So this report decodes the hidden language of corporate job postings, demonstrating how common buzzwords and vague terminology conceal deeper issues like workplace toxicity, systematic overwork, hidden pay structures, and demographic biases. Backed by institutional data from MIT, Sloan, Textio, and Adobe, the report functions as an insider's guide for modern job seekers navigating crowded and often deceptive markets. So, some key takeaways from this article: there's culture over cash, widespread candidate resistance, the slowdown effect, and the rise of corporate jargon. So, culture over cash means research from MIT Sloan indicates that a toxic corporate culture is 10.4 times more predictive of an employer turnover than compensation. Widespread candidate resistance. Approximately 80% of the job seekers stated that they were actually or actively turned off by recognized corporate red flags, and 70% alter their applications behavior based on a company's terminology. The slowdown effect. Companies that rely heavily on red flag phrasing experience measurable delays filling their open roles at a much higher rate, at a much slower rate. And then the rise of corporate jargon. That's job ad tracking shows that misleading buzzwords are increasing rather than decreasing, with marketing, finance, and technology emerging as the worst offending sectors. So the first word, or the first section, is energy buzzwords, short staffing, and impending burnout. Many common phrases are intentionally used to rebrand a lack of institutional support, resource constraints, and structural dysfunction as a personal passion and speed. And so there are 4 things to kind of list it out for, like fast-paced environment, or wear many hats, self-starter, and high sense of urgency, or handle stress well. Those are some code words that you need to really pay attention to. The article is going to go into detail as far as what those specifically address. Just for the sake of time, I'm just highlighting the bullets today. The second section of things to watch out for are the warm fuzzies, the manipulation of work-life boundaries. Friendly emotional terminology is often deployed as substitute corporate culture perks for fair compensation, while quietly demanding an employee's personal evenings, weekends, and emotional labor. You'll hear some of those terms listed as "we are a family," or "work hard, play hard," "customer obsessed," or "unlimited PTO." So watch out for those terms. And again, read the article in full to understand the differences between what all those are stating. Now, there's another section, and it's going to address strategic compensation, bias, and ghost postings. So the third thing to watch out for are compensation deceptions, negotiating to the bottom. And you want to listen for vague pay definitions that are deliberate corporate strategy designed to minimize transparency, fulfill legal checkpoints or check marks without honesty, and anchor incoming candidates to the absolute lowest acceptable salary. Some of those phrases are competitive salary, or commensurate with experience, ultra wide salary ranges, or unpaid but great exposure. So those are some key terms. Next section, coded language, systematic bias, and demographic screening. So the words chosen in an advertisement do more than just describe a daily workflow. They statistically dictate that the demographic makeup of the applicant pool by lowering an individual's psychological sense of belonging. Some of those key terms would be masculine coded terms, ageism shorthand, the culture fit trap, and the payoff of neutrality. A fifth section would be ghost jobs, when the role doesn't exist. So a significant portion of modern job boards consist of fake listings designed to serve internal corporate metrics rather than actively recruit talent. So you'll hear some of these phrases and kind of understand why. So the scale of the problem, there's and it outlines the specific percentages and number of employers that admit they run listings without actual intent to hire. There's corporate motivation to do that, and then there's how to spot a ghost. So how to recognize that these are fake roles. And then the last section of the summary is candidate action or a candidate action plan, how to protect yourself. And you can do that through terms that are like cluster tracking, force the range, audit the timeline, and leverage external data. So again, this week's career tip of the week is reading between the lines what job postings actually mean. And it's a true actual research report produced by the interview guys. And it's about 20 pages, I think. So be prepared to just read the full thing and you'll get a lot of detail and a lot of information. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.
Rosina, thank you very, very much. All right, let's see here. Whoop. The career, I'll just like to mention this once a month. CareerDFW.org and the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group are two separate organizations. The common thread is I happen to lead both. You're welcome to overthrow me here at any time if you want to take over the Friday meeting, but you're not going to get a Career DFW out of my hands. Also, Career DFW is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I'm strictly a volunteer. I've never taken any money out of the organization. There's no full or part-time employees. It's just set up to pay for the web hostings and business cards and stuff like that. All right, today for lunch, we're going to go to Country Burger, 3115 West Parker Road. It's on the northwest corner at Parker and Independence. They have burger, salad, and more. If you want this particular hamburger, you have to bring your own sliced ham because they don't have sliced ham there. But they can make this for you if you'd like. So come join us today at 11:45 at Country Burger. All right, if you want to receive today's materials, you'll get a copy of the link to the YouTube video of today's recording. You'll get a copy of the career tip of the week that Rosina just read. You'll get a copy of the Zoom chat. To make sure you've got it for everybody who's here in person, make sure you've checked your name off on the roster or you filled out a little slip of paper. And if the little slip of paper is legible, that's the important word, legible, I will get you added to the roster tomorrow and we will you'll get all this information. For everybody who's online, please make sure that I get your email address in the chat window somewhere. So even if you don't tell us who you are, just give us your email address so I can get you added to the roster and you'll get the information tomorrow. Here are some people who have joined us who didn't give us an email address. So I have no way to know how to contact any of these people. So if your name is on this list, please let me know so I can get that added or get you off of this list and onto our main roster. All right, time for our main event today. The main event today is open forum. We're going to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So I'm going to stop sharing. And so we can see everybody. So I ask you, if you can, please turn on your camera so we can see you. And we're going to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So who wants to start out with a question to the group? Okay. Huh? No.
For those of you interested in Texas, Tiffany Lovelace just landed there. She's in the solutions team. I don't know how many times or where she's going to advance and when she starts. But if that bank is on your mind, look up Tiffany Lovelace. She might be a good connection for you.
Okay. All right. What can we talk about? Question? Yep.
I had a question for you, Jeff, or Walt, or uh, even Tracy. I guess one thing that really was successful for me was referrals. Just in my personal opinion, going from zero to an interview referral was the fastest way. I mean, it moves like lightning speed, and I have a lot of success with that. So my question is for you, Jeff, or Walt, or Tracy. Do you think basically what uh, I landed in February and it wasn't a good fit, and so I was let go this Monday, which actually was a blessing. I was working 60 hours a week, so it was actually a blessing in disguise. I'm 60 hours a week every week since February, so it was a blessing in disguise, I think. My wife doesn't agree, but yeah, but I think for health and physical, mental. That's is a blessing. But I guess my question is, what I've done is, uh, Jay Arbeiter had a seminar at South Lake Focus Group, but he said, make an Excel spreadsheet of every single person you know, neighbors, friends, acquaintances, everybody, what companies they work at, and target those companies, and try to get referrals and introductions. And so I guess my question to Walt, Jeff, and Tracy is that one of the best angles to take is just finding people that you know at certain companies who are willing to give a referral, and just pursue those companies actively versus just a general search.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll let Walton go first.
Yes. They put you at the top of the list of their candidates. And so you get right to the top. So if you can get that, sometimes the companies will pay referral bonuses to people. So you might check on that with that particular company. That makes people have a little more incentive to do that. But look at your second and third degree connections to get into a particular place. It usually takes 2, 3, maybe 4 to get inside of that particular company, but that's where it lies. And so Arbeiter gives a super presentation, on networking. But my suggestion to you is go for the gold. All right. That's going to be the best way to get your name to the top of the list. There's other ways, but having somebody refer you. Now, there's some things you need to do to help that person refer you. All right. I'm going to leave all that out right now, but you just don't say, would you refer me? You have to build a relationship. You have to build some connections. You got to tell them what you're looking for. You got to help them say, here's what I want you to say. All those kind of things help in that referral, because they don't want to get burned by referring somebody that doesn't work out.
You only have a 1 to 2% chance of getting noticed if you just apply online. So 1 to 2%. If you have somebody who can refer you in, you have to have 50% chance of getting that phone call. I'll give you the example of years ago. I applied for a job. I saw it in the newspaper, if you remember what those are. And I applied online. And you look up the website name, and I said, well, who do I know at that? So I went in my LinkedIn group. So that morning I applied, my mid morning, I looked online and I found somebody in my LinkedIn group who was connected to somebody at this company. I contacted them because they were part of this group and they were willing to help. They said, sure. I know the guy really well. We used to work together. He sent my name to the guy. That guy then contacted me that night at dinner time. I sent him my resume and told him what I was interested in. He took it into the hiring manager the very next morning, and by 9:30, I was talking to the hiring manager that next day. So if you can get that warm lead to get into a company, it makes all the difference. Anybody else want to comment about that? Tracy, comments about letting people for referrals? Are you still online? I don't know if I see her. Nope, she may have popped off. She usually doesn't stay for this part. Yeah.
Her name.
Okay, what else can we talk about? So yes, referrals, yes. Very important.
No one else has a question.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Doug Maxim. One of the things that popped up in the tip of the week was something that's an issue for me, and that's ageism. And I'm past where most people retire, but I love to work. My mind is fine, and I need to find that next job. So um, any pointers or tips on dealing with ageism?
Hold on. Here's Mike.
I mean, just a couple of thoughts, Doug. I'm dealing with a similar situation. You find companies that have a track record of holding or hiring older employees. And you look at just do research and you can find which companies those are. And then number one, and then number two, you find opportunities where experience, what you bring to the party, your skills and experience, deep skills and experience, and use that as a weapon, as opposed to something to shy from. So just a couple thoughts. And just be more selective around who you target to find companies that are going to value your deeper experience.
Makes sense. Yep.
Just one real quick comment on that. One thing I noticed is defense contractors are not shy from hiring like elderly or older or workers because of the experience. Because obviously, you can't get a 25-year-old who's aerospace engineer and with a lot of knowledge. So, defense contractors and the suppliers for defense they tend to they're more than happy to hire elderly people or older employees.
Yeah. Also, check out the AARP website. I know that they have a list of
good idea.
Businesses that'll hire senior people.
I'm not sure where I fit. Am I older, elderly? What am I? This is Walt.
I'd vote for elderly, Walt. Distinguished gentleman.
You just left my networking list. Okay, thank you for those comments.
Distinguished
We want the
gentleman.
opportunity to show them who we are, what we do, and how we can help them. We want the opportunity to show them how this role energizes us. We want to give them the opportunity to see how we want to work at this company. All right. And if you are, and you were talking about size of company, the size of companies, startups need people with knowledge and skills. And that's the older people, the people who have 30 years plus experience. So that can make a difference as well. We don't want to let ageism stop us. So we don't put that in our mindset. We just say, I'm going forward. This is what I'm going to do. I would like this opportunity to get in and show you these sort of things. So you pick your company that you really want to work for, and that's on your target list. So you get about 5 of those, and you go after them. And then you get the next 5, and you go after them. But the idea is stay positive, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm doing. And that's going to overcome. We had a new CEO come in my company, and he brought the financial officer in with him. He was 90 years old. So I asked one of the people in the finance team, I said, well, how's it working with old Ray? He said, you can't keep up with him. Energy is a strong defense, if I want to use the word defense, but a strong way to attack. Say, if we have the energy, motivation, and all that, that overcomes the ageism, showing them that we've been through a lot of change. Because some people say, well, you don't know how to keep up with changes. And I say, are you crazy? The years of experience we've had, we've seen more change than you've even thought of, right? But that's all these barriers that come up, or you can forget the reasons why. You can just go in, this is what I can offer you.
You just don't want to act your age. That's really
Never happened.
Yeah. And Walt, I do want to say you are definitely a man of energy. That's always impressed me about you.
Doug, just a couple of other thoughts. Just kind of position yourself as kind of like an ideal hire, as in, look, I bring skills and experience to kind of add value on day one. You don't have to train me up. I'm not somebody who's angling to be CEO. It's like, I'm at the tail end.
Right.
I'm kind of like the perfect role player. I think in sports analogy, kind of the experienced designated hitter that they bring in to get that key, double, when the team needs it. So kind of think of, how do I make myself valuable? And the other one is figure out ways to not hide from your age, but also, pivot it and if there's any detractors, or sometimes maybe a perception that, oh, if you're older, you're not as current, you don't know, you don't have low energy, you're not going to be easily trained, you don't know the latest skills. So, basically break down those myths and be like, that's not me, and here's why, and
Right.
so.
Yeah, no. And just to add to that, spot on. I'm getting my AI certificate for cybersecurity third-party risk, which is a big deal. So that definitely shows that I'm on top of current risk issues. So good point. Thank you.
This is Walt. I'm going to give you some information, Doug. I want you to keep it a secret. This is not for public consumption. Okay. I'm 82.
Okay. Well, I'll be 74 the end of the month. So.
Yeah. Y'all keep talking. Y'all are making me feel really good.
But Doug, let me say this. You look very young and energetic, Wow, great.
I was blessed with great skin. What can I say?
No, I'll give credit to your fitness. I think you've maintained well. Great. My pointer to you is, Doug, the question is the job, is it money, or what is it that you want to do in this phase of your life? I think your job, if you can align to that at a very broad level, it might make more sense to you. Maybe the choice of a particular business sector. See, everyone talks of AI. It's not necessary all of us get into AI. The question is, what is it that you love to do in this phase of your life? If you say, no, I want to be in IT, I want to be in AI, go for it. If not, what is it? Like, there were a few years I worked in the hospital sector in India because I thought I was very passionate about the medical support that we were getting. So it depends on what you want to do. It's not always
Sure.
about job or money. It's actually something very deep inside, and that makes you feel very lively. So at morning 6 a.m. you say, hurrah, I'm going to office today. Very few of us make those choices, and probably you have the luxury to do that now that I'm hoping that you've planned your retirement well. So I think that's my pointer to you.
Yeah. Yep. Good point.
Anybody else? Yep. Hold on.
One last thought, Doug. Have you considered, fractional work? I know a lot of people that are more advanced in age that have a lot of skills but want to work are taking fractional roles where they're coming in and they're being kind of an interim CFO or an interim, COO to kind of, step in day one, add value, bring your expertise to bear, but you're there to fill a role until they find someone else. It's just another avenue that I've seen people pursue.
That's a good idea. I'll look at that. I hadn't looked at that.
Is this like ageism kickoff typically?
So his question is, what age does ageism tend to kick in?
Oh man, we heard the other day it was 35.
Yeah. Really?
Here we heard it, which is ridiculous. To go with what Mike, I mean, I need a microphone. I don't know. To go with what Mike said too, though, I think you don't want to project that age. Don't use the terminology. And back when I was, those kind of things, you have to be really, really careful. Just terms that we have that we used 20, 30 years ago, it'll click in people's ears and they'll remember that. I said something one day, just the term of genders. And if you go through the history, you could really set yourself up for, disaster. So understand the terminology, keep current. What Doug said about learning AI, I've taken a lot of AI classes. I come from the IT world, but Cisco actually has on their website, you can get free cybersecurity training classes through their Cisco website. So keep up with that, keep up with terminology, think about how you present yourself, and do a video and think about some of the words you say and how you do it, because every generation has different terms. And if you can play that game and understand across those, you could probably do quite well.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're working for a startup, it's a bunch of 20-year-olds. If you're in your 30s or mid 30s, they think you're old.
And it really just comes down to managing risk. Because if you're a hiring manager, you hire an older candidate, you're thinking about, okay, how long is this person going to be here? Am I competing with their retirement? That sort of thing. And then there's the whole negative stereotypes I said about being outdated and whatnot that you want to fight. And then really just accentuates your strengths that you have versus a younger candidate that they can't compete with. It's like you have experience they don't have. You have relationships they don't have. It's like those are valuable and are worth something. So you don't want to downplay those.
I saw a story
Right.
on that particular topic, exactly what you said. And they said, well, you can't really argue that point because even the 20 somethings, they're not staying for 5 to 7 years. So we're kind of in the same.
That's a great.
It really is. They're hopping around because I did a lot of hiring for them, my last company, and I see that hopping around versus if you look at my resume, it's 7 to 10 years. So we actually have an advantage because we are of the generation that does commit and does stay on.
Make a comment?
No.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You could kick it.
Oh.
I know it's supposed to be recorded. You could kick it out.
that's fine. I'll leave it on. Okay. What else? Here we go. Kathleen.
So I don't know if mine was luck or what, but my role, the two hiring managers, the people that interviewed me, and the controller who was the head guy, he won't be working with me day to day, but they're all my generation. And so that was a plus for me. So I don't know what to tell you there. I don't know if that's luck or what, but also just make sure your resume is specific to the role because my skills are what got me my job. They were looking for someone with specific skills, and my skill set's very unique. So if you're looking for a role that's really unique and specific, make sure your resume says that because that will help you land also.
Once again, now when you're interviewing someone, there's kind of three things we can talk about. You get to choose how you want to talk about it. So the inexperienced have to fight through it and learn the hard way. So the less experience you have, the harder it is to really accomplish things. The somewhat experienced have done it before and can do it that way again. The very experienced can bring the team up to where they need to be. And so you really need somebody with that type of experience. And where do you find it? It's in the older generation through that. And so you can take in a team, you can see problems before they occur. The other two can't see those, but the ones that have that experience can. So sell the fact that you're visionary, you understand, you have solved problems before they occur, they're doing these things. Those are the values and things that you can bring into a role. So just a suggestion.
Excellent. Thank you.
Got a couple more comments.
Go ahead.
I read one article recently that I thought it was good. A lot of people, especially older candidates, will hear about, AI, is AI going to really make you irrelevant in many ways? But this one author had a different spin on it for older candidates. Actually, if you think about what AI is, it really is just a rapid scaler or accelerator, making decisions. The one risk you have with that is like, if you make the wrong decision, you're just accelerating your demise. And so AI can actually be positioned by more senior candidates to be like, look, I've been in this business for 20, 30 years, whatever. I've seen what works and what doesn't work. I've lived it. So I was like, me plus AI actually becomes extremely powerful. The problem is a young person who has zero experience. Great, you can use AI, but you don't know what to do because you haven't lived it. And so you're learning you're at that stage where you're learning. So it actually gives you a unique opportunity with AI as a more experienced candidate to 1 + 1 = 3. So.
Yeah, I don't use Google anymore. I use ChatGPT or Gemini AI, and I agree 100%. I know how to make questions way better than a younger cybersecurity risk person. So I'm with you on board, and that's why I'm excited to get this certification because it's a certification specifically for cybersecurity risk professionals. And that combined with my skills in how to ask questions. I like what Walt said, that positioning myself as visionary, as done it, can help build the team up. I hadn't thought of that, but that is so true. And that's one of the things I really like doing. So I'm really psyched about getting after the job search with some new perspectives now. So thank you, guys.
And when you're talking us old schmucks with the AI, keep in mind how many times we've seen the end of the world. Okay. My dad was a software engineer and the PC was going to destroy that. All right. We've been through the PC. Everybody uses a PC now instead of less. Every CPA was going to be put out of business by Excel. Now none of them don't use it. We've been through the end of the world several times. I'm working with a career coach, a career hunting coach. She's 10 years older than me. She has automated her entire system with Claude. She's probably about to roll out 3 products. So it ain't the age. She's seen the hell, okay? And embrace that. We've been through the end of the world. It's just another end of the world, guys.
So I wanted to share. I stopped yesterday after the South Lake, and I went to a nonprofit foundation down here in Dallas, Addison. For those of you that want to get involved with maybe a volunteer situation that might give you some connections and inroads, a friend of mine works for AT&T in Austin as an attorney, and she led me to this. They have this program called Bridging the Digital Divide, and they have certain nonprofits that they partner with around the country. And on their website, you can go look. There's like 4 in Dallas. So I picked one that was close to where I live. It's the Jewish Family Services Foundation. Now they're a partner with AT&T. So they actually have an AT&T classroom in there, and you don't have to be an AT&T employee. You can, from the outside, join and become a volunteer, which may give you some connections into AT&T. And if anybody has read the news in the last whatever month, knows what's going to happen here where the old EDS site is in Plano. So could give you an option. I actually went yesterday and signed up, got my background check, went through an orientation. It's a great facility, great service. And those kind of connections, some people don't think about, putting that long chain of 2 + 2 + 2. And it gives you that sense of satisfaction of helping someone and helping people. So bridging the digital divide. So thank you.
Just coming back to what Kathleen was saying about having the skills matching to your profile, I just wanted to know, maybe ask Mr. Walt or Jeff or anybody, just want to know, like, is it okay? Because I'm getting mixed answers on this. I asked AI. They say that, because I keep my resume 1 to 2 pages, max 2 pages. I don't go over that. So there's not all the skills we can add in that, in that resume. So based on the role that you're looking for, which is somewhat aligned to your background, we kind of tend to, tailor the resume based on the JD. Getting mixed answers on that. Some people say you want to keep one resume, but others who recently got a job, like one guy said he had like 100 different resumes. So, but I don't know if that's the right approach. So that's what I wanted to check.
Yes, you want multiple resumes because you want your resume to be customized to the job description. That's very important. Whatever terms they use in the job description, you want those on your resume. The-
From Southwest, South Lake Focus Group.
Pete Hernandez.
I'm gonna go to his resume just after this. So, he's not a big fan of. He's not a big fan of changing the resumes. Or having multiple resumes.
I think that's wrong. You've got to.
So, I think that's wrong. They have a lot of good information though in that resume class. I've seen some people that have gone to, but a couple of things about that is so, and I'll show you in mine. But so a couple of things you can do with keeping your professional experience without changing it a lot. You can put in a specialties or key abilities, whatever you want to call it, section, and you can line out 6 or 8 of those that match the job description, and then also in your summary. Like I have probably 6, 7, 8 different summaries depending on the type of job that I'm looking for. Yeah, and then the key specialties. Some of the ChatGPT stuff will tell you to go into the body of the resume. Maybe you're missing a few keywords. You can go in and add those, and it doesn't take that much time. Okay, be careful. Don't lie.
Yes.
Okay, if you make a change, be ready to substantiate it. Have a star story. Be ready to talk to all the bullet points that are in there. I have had interviews where they asked me a specific question about a specific line in my resume, and having been in Walt's class before and pit crew and all that, I had star stories, ready for each of those. So there is a little bit of a caveat to that. But the way you can quickly, I won't say easily, but a little more quickly, is under your specialty section and a little bit of your summary section. Yeah.
It has to be aligned to your background. You can't like change from a technical BA to a mechanical engineer resume. So that's good.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's my point too. Yeah. Don't put something in there that you are what you aren't, because you're not going to be able to substantiate it. They got a lot of videos out there on about when they lied on their resume, right? Some pretty funny stuff out there.
I think the other thing to think about, you don't send the resume out until you have a job description. Or I know a person, she would never send out a resume until she had a phone call with somebody to know exactly what they're looking for. Just because they put a job description out doesn't mean that that's necessarily what they're looking for. But a one-page bio can be extremely effective.
Yeah, that was a good tip about a one-page bio for just generic. I think that's a good tip. I think I've seen, and there's different ways to do it, but if you think about what's a resume for, it's just to really get you an interview. So you got to think, okay, your resume has to be compiled so that you can meet that goal. So it has to be customized to the job description, like you said. Highlight, like you can do ChatGPT or any of the AI engines are great for search, like what are the top keywords? Because the systems search based on keywords. So for every job, just run like, what are the top keywords? Here's the 10. Make sure those 10 are in your resume, usually in multiple places. And then lastly, look at the job description, what the key responsibilities are, and make sure you have some star stories that speak to those responsibilities, because that's what a hiring manager is going to be looking for. So if you focus on those things, it's like those are the people that are going to be figuring out who I talk to, who I don't. They're going to look at those sorts of things.
I have a suggestion. Rather than having 100 different resumes, what you do is you have one long version with different subsections, and based on the type of job you're applying for, you cut and paste just those sections into your resume. That way you don't need to have many resumes. You can just take your base resume and plug in what you need to for a particular job.
Yeah, I tend to maintain one master resume and then modify it a little bit. But just one thing on that is, if we are applying to one company for multiple roles, there's a caveat there, right? Can you have multiple resumes for that company for different roles? Okay.
You should.
That's fine.
Well,
So I get your resume and then I go to LinkedIn and it doesn't match. That's a problem. So I agree. Your LinkedIn resume can have 5 or 6 bullets. The actual resume you send in is 3 of those bullets prioritized. And so when they look at the LinkedIn, they're seeing the same information. So consistency has to occur. If you're looking for 2 different roles at the same time, you're going to have to handle that through that company and say, well, I'm targeting this job, but I'm also open to so you can still apply. You can still work, towards that. But the first thing people are going to do is going to go look at your LinkedIn profile. And so that has to match. So make sure that you're inconsistent with that. To look for 2 different jobs at the same time, I recommend you don't do it. It is a nightmare. It is so hard to do 2 different things at the same time. Pick your A job and put your B job. Say, well, if A doesn't work out, then I'll go for B. Then you can get everything to go for B. And that's really, if your roles are really different skills, different requirements, and that sort of thing. Trying to chase both of them is a challenge.
I personally also have two resumes, one that's stripped just for ATS systems, and then one that's more of a, once you've had the connection, you can provide that, or if you provide it in person.
Yeah.
With regards to applying to multiple jobs, I would like to comment that my personal experience was I applied to multiple jobs, and the last 3 jobs that I've obtained have been created. And what HR has said is like, we look at what you've applied for. They're not disparate, for one thing. It's sort of like, if I can do this, yes, I can also do this, and I can also do this. So they're relevant. And my last 3 jobs, Kimberly Clark, Sabre, and McKesson, HR has called to give me a created position because as a result. So
New topic, if that's okay.
New topic. Okay, we're gonna switch. New topic.
Oh, sorry. My question, I committed to interviews before I got my L3 offer. I kept these interviews and was not asked whether I had accepted my offer. What's the proper etiquette here? And what if I get a better offer?
love the question.
This happened to me. So it was weird how everything happened. Like I got the Topgolf interview, then I got a law firm interview, then I got Topgolf, then law firm. It was just back and forth. And then the law firm offered me the role. And I was still wanting Topgolf because as you remember in my intro, I kept getting signs from God that was like Topgolf. And so I talked to Dee Robinson about this, and I was so uncomfortable doing this, but I did it. The week of my final round interview with Topgolf, I was in Lubbock with my daughter at orientation for college. She's going to be a freshman. I was on my way back home that Wednesday, which was the day before my final interview. And I sent an email to my recruiter at Topgolf and let him know I received another offer, but I wanted to be transparent and let you know about this offer, but that you are my top choice. I really want to work with you guys. And so at the end of my interview, the hiring manager told me thank you for my transparency and being honest. And then the recruiter also said that in an email. That led to when I got the offer, I was ready to negotiate for more salary because they had told me a specific amount. And the amount that I was going to negotiate, they were like, you know what, we're going to give you more than what we offered you. And that was the amount I was targeting. So I didn't have to negotiate at all. And honesty is the best policy. It helped me in the long run, even though I am not like this. I was even nervous to negotiate.
Yeah, what's the etiquette? I think Tim's question was like, what's the etiquette? You just accepted an offer, yet you have others on the table. How do you handle that, navigate that?
Yeah, I mean, I hear people who quit their job don't even show up that first day. They think they're supposed to report on Monday and they just don't even show up.
It is to, because I did this, the proper etiquette is to let the other company know that you have accepted a different offer and that you apologize. And like, I just told them, I wish you the best of luck in your search and I hope that you find the right person for the role. So I rescinded the law firm offer. And then they told me thanks and honesty again.
They do it. They do it. They'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
They'll do it in a second.
Okay.
No more loyalty anywhere.
Okay.
But don't burn your bridge.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, when I was at Verizon, I was their business operations support. So I did everything administrative. It was a role that was created. So I did attract all of their job recs for this director, and which was a lot. It was contractors and employees. And basically, I did all the onboarding. I knew when they started, I had all of it in the spreadsheet. And we had a number, and these are like super, like engineer, super technical type jobs. And they were so excited when these people started with them in their organization. And a lot of them, we're talking 3-4 days, maybe a week later, coming back, and they told the manager, I got this other offer. I have to go for it because it's just too good to turn down. And of course, our manager were just like, totally understand. You got to do what works for you. But of course, they were very disappointed. But it happens all of the time.
I can remember earlier in my career, I had joined a company, a retailer, Sears at the time, and an executive joined and literally like a week later left to take another job. And I remember thinking at the time, God, what a horrible move to make or whatever it is. I think more of it in how corporate America has kind of evolved into kind of this transactional arrangement. You got to manage your best situation for your career because the company's going to do that. So be professional, be transparent, but do what's gonna work for you because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. If there's it's right to work state here. They can cut you for any reason at any time, and you can leave for any reason at any time as well. So nobody's locked in. So it's food for thought.
Yeah, there's no long-term jobs anymore.
Yeah.
You're all out for self. Brian, I see your hand up. Oh, your hand was up. Did we lose you? All right, Sapna, go ahead.
Well, one comment and one question. The comment is that's where I think the older folks have an advantage over the younger ones, and that someone mentioned longevity. Typically, a younger person is more likely to jump ship really quickly versus someone who's older. So that's something to play up and express. The question I have is, I'm coming from a telecom sector, and a lot of my work has been in data migrations. I'm looking to move into more of a ERP project management role. I have 0 ERP experience. I was looking to find opportunities to volunteer. Anyone knows of that? Or is it just doing training and then a volunteer? Because it's really hard to find a position where someone's going to hire me with that when I don't have experience. So I'm just looking for suggestions on how to get that.
Suggestions? Anyone?
AT&T site.
Hey,
guys.
Oh, sorry. I want to mention I'm looking to get out of telecom.
Okay. This is Kurt Schaffenberg. I joined late. Basically, you've got 3 ERPs that exist. They're called JD Edwards, SAP, and Microsoft Dynamics. Oracle also has an ERP, but they've kind of devolved into separate modules. An ERP at the core of it is a giant one-instance system. What you've got to know about it is that it resembles old mainframe land more than it resembles the current world. It's an effort by people, especially in the manufacturing sector, to get back to one instance software. A lot of operations like that use it. BMW uses SAP, to give you an example. But what you have to do is study about any one of those things, and they're going to be quite similar. I've worked with all of them throughout my career recently. Since about 2005 or so. But they're kind of the coming thing because it allows you to have a system that does things for your employees rather than your employees being expert in it. So they're not really that tough of a nut to crack from an employee standpoint. If you were a more technical person and not a more marketing telecom type of person, you would probably be struggling with having to learn the individual one. But it's not important to know the individual one unless you're going to start, coding in it, which is kind of a rare birdie kind of a job anyway. There's not a lot of people required to do that. There's a lot of people required to learn the keystrokes so they can do their AR jobs or their AP jobs or their product jobs or whatever type of jobs you do inside the corporation. Anyway, just thought I'd give you a quick overview of ERPs since it's kind of an interesting thing. Thanks.
Somebody got the pass. I couldn't get in the building for a meeting that's going on in here for career training. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is Walt.
Yeah,
You
you're right
willing
below
to,
the
ta-
window.
Upstairs and second floor. Thank you.
are you willing to take an entry level job?
Yes,
Yeah, up on
is
the
that for
second
me?
floor, the left up here. Yeah, the door was locked and no. Thank you, ma'am.
Is that entry level question for me?
Yeah, are you willing to take an entry level job?
100%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you're familiar with the YouTube Career USA channel, you can look through a lot of videos there. There's one on changing careers and industries. And it talks about what you need to do when you're changing a career. That's, from one type of job to another type of job. The summary of that is you have to get smart in that particular area. So you need to see if you can't network with people who work with those systems so you can ask them, what is it that I need to learn? What's the most important thing? What does it really do? How does it help? All those sort of things so that you can find out and say, I'm knowledgeable about it. I know something about it, I know something about the navigation. Maybe you can find a training that'll help you. But if you can talk the language of that ERP system and you can understand and convince them, that, you're not just walking in with no knowledge whatsoever, that will strongly help you make that career change.
Yeah, and I want to clarify that I want to continue using my project management experience. So a lot of the fundamentals don't change. I just want to shift it over to ERP. So I have a lot to work off of. It's just that the ERP is like the one piece that's holding me back.
Anyone?
Thank you.
Brian McGovern, you had your hand up earlier. Do you want to ask a question?
Yes, if you please. So in regards to interviewing, I just wanted to ask, when an interviewer asks about a negative, specifically, I mean, it's easy to talk about a positive, like this is how I keep track of deadlines or something along those lines. But if they specifically ask you a negative, like, what is something in Excel that's difficult for you, or when have you missed a deadline, something along those lines. When you're positioned so that you have to answer it in negative, what would you say is a good way to address such situations?
The tips that I've used for that weakness question is provide something. If you provide nothing, I think that's a little bit of a red flag. It doesn't really answer the question. Number two, pick something that is not relevant to the job you're interviewing for. And then number three, hopefully it's something earlier in your career. Explain to you how you've learned from it and have grown from it since then. That's how I would handle it.
Yeah, I would always say in my first job, I had a problem doing X, and I learned this is what I needed to do, and I've been successful ever since. So you're turning that negative into a positive.
So this is Walt. I can give you an excerpt from the workshop. So the category is negative questions. And so in the workshop, I'll talk about categories. What are our possible approaches? What are our possible strategies? What are options to address that category? So negative questions is one of the categories. Step number one, ignore plural. Don't ever give more than one. Don't give them 5 reasons not to hire you. Okay. Step two, and this is part of what Mike was saying, pick something that has very little business impact. Okay. Use as few words as possible about what the negative is. Okay. You can ignore recent, like Mike was saying, you can go back into the past. You can say, well, when I first became a manager or when I, something, like that. The structure is to say, here's the negative, very, very brief, the fewest words possible. Here's what I did about it. Here's how I, fixed it at the time. And then, like Mike said, then here's what I learned about it, and here's what I go forward in doing that. So you pick something. Sometimes it's a mistake, and sometimes it's a weakness. Both fit in the same category. How do you handle a weakness? You say, well, I like to punch customers, but what I do is, but you pick something like that. So, one person said, I continue to work on my presentation skills. Didn't say I didn't know how to do it. I just said I continue to work on that. So I've joined Toastmasters, and I also work, and I give my presentations. I do several of them in advance, use them with people, and so that I continue to improve on my presentations. And you're done. You shut up. Do not talk a long time about that. If they want to know more, let them ask for detail. So the guideline there is start with brevity on everything. Let them ask for more detail. Okay. That's my excerpt from the workshop. Since the workshop is free, that was free too.
Thank you.
That was just a joke.
Punch customers, just tell me wear gloves now, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, I have a comment. Although one, I was just going to build on what Walt said, that for the weakness, they did some poll a while ago. What's people's biggest fear in public speaking is always kind of the number one. That's usually a safe weakness. You can always say, hey, I'm not a great public speaker. I mean, show me somebody who thinks they're a good public speaker. There are very few people. So that's kind of a safe one to use if you can't come up with anything else.
And come up with them now. Don't wait until they ask. Come up with a couple of them and have them in your pocket.
Let me suggest rephrasing that, Mike, from I'm not a good public speaker is I continue to work on my public speaking skills. Okay, so there's the Dilbert cartoon. Dilbert's one of my mentors. The evil HR director tells the person, says, we need to hire somebody, go interview him. She goes in and says, why'd you leave your last job? He says, I punched my boss. She goes back and says, he's exactly what we need.
Change in topic. I learned that from Tim. Hey, so I just want to talk about accountability groups briefly because the one that I'm a member of that Sally started, they do it a lot at South Lake Focus Group. They talk about them a lot, but we have one that's been meeting here right across the street at McDonald's at 8 o'clock. We go 8 till about 9:15, and then you come right across the street. So the success of accountability groups, right, is that we've already had 3 people land out of it, and we're running out of people. So, and I think we're about to lose at least one more, if not 2, which means we'll be down to 2 people in the accountability group when we're trying to have 6. But the other thing is in accountability groups, it's important to be accountable and show up, right? So if you're going to join a group, make sure that you're a regular member and that you show up. Things happen. People have conflicts or whatever. You may have an interview that you don't show up for, you can't make it or whatever, but for the majority of the time. But it's good because, again, you talk about, we talk about every week, what did we do last week? What are we going to do next week? And what are any roadblocks that anybody in the group can help with? And so it's more of a one-on-one. This is a great group here. The other groups are great as well. But an accountability group, you have some one-on-one type things and everybody's a little more invested. So if anybody's interested, you can contact me. You can contact Mike. Mike's in the group. But Sally, hang on, sorry. I had 6. Let's see. Oh, who else? Oh, Lindley. Lindley was only here for just a short while. She landed almost immediately. And Sally landed and, Amy Wilson. Amy Wilson was in there as well. And well, not yet, but that's, yeah. We got another one who's very, very close. Matter of fact, he's actually in a meeting today. So, it doesn't even have to be this group, but you can reach out to Mike or myself. We'd love to have you. We probably have a room for at least 3 more people, but if you don't want to join that one, you can join another one. This one's convenient, again, because we meet on Friday mornings right across the street. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I was thinking, and I meant, and I wanted to mention it earlier that if you know, you don't want if you're interviewing with one company and another company calls you or whatever, it's always okay to say if they want to schedule you for 1 o'clock on Wednesdays, I'd love to meet with you, but I have another interview that I've got to go to at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, and it'd be the interview success, the workshop. And that person, I don't know who it is, so they will not be answered. All right, what else can we answer?
Your point, you're some of the interview picked.
Yeah, if you're gonna have, if they call you up and say, hey, can you meet Wednesday at 1? So I'm busy. I've got an interview scheduled Wednesday at 1, but I can do it Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon or, another day. But, use the practice interview team as an excuse not to have a real interview, but let them know, because that way you're telling them, oh, I've got something else going on.
They're not,
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yes.
New topic. I had an outreach from a recruiter that had some kind of red flags. Her name is Laura Gregory, but it was kind of from an email about an interesting role that had the, laura.gregory.cornferry@gmail.com, which I know is kind of a flag for a spammer. But if you look her up, she has a legit LinkedIn profile and has mutual connections that I know, like Trevor Houston's one of them. And so I kind of reached out to her on LinkedIn to be like, hey, I wasn't sure the right protocol. It sounds like might be a spammer who's kind of taking on her identity. You hear about that? The spammers taking on legitimate recruiters as their identity, but I wasn't sure. I don't know if anyone's had any experience with that. Yeah.
Hi, David Watrous. Yes, I've had that experience recently. What happened was they used the name of a person at an executive search firm in New York, but it was HR dot that person's name or the company's name and it was at Yahoo. When I asked for additional information, I didn't really get anything back, so I went online into LinkedIn, looked at the company's placement location. That's what I would tell you to do. And if you don't see the job that they're telling you they're looking to place, and if they're hiring in a totally different area like mine, they're hiring medical stuff. I was like, I have no experience in this area at all. And I didn't see anything like the job they described in telecom. I was like, so I called and left a message for the person. Never heard back from them. And I called even the placement firm, sent them an email to that person's name and also to the assistant that was listed on the website. Never heard back. Quick hint, because they kept coming back, oh, you're perfect. And they took stuff directly off the resume, like, oh, I've never seen anybody that has this skill sets, this skill sets, and this skills, and this skills. You're ideal. If you see that, heads up, likely scam. Do your homework.
I've had that experience from someone from Bristol Myers Squibb. I looked up their profile. They actually had a profile on LinkedIn. At one point, they stopped responding to me. That's when I looked at the email address. What I do now, when someone she's asking for my Gmail address, I say, I'm happy to talk. Well, please send me an email from your corporate email. It's met with crickets.
Well, another thing too is that they will always, at some point, and it may not take long with the communication, they will always try to get you offline somewhere else. That's always a key thing. And I would imagine probably every one of those scammers will at some point do that. That's definitely a red flag.
You're not going to get my Bitcoin.
Yeah, I have had that experience. So anybody from a non-company email ID is a flag, is a red flag. So you have to use that. If anything from a Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a flag because and also eventually I've had experience where they start off diverting the conversation, start asking for money for their recruiting services, right? So that's another red flag.
Changing topic. So I saw a posting just the other day, just this information for everyone, a posting that Mike Rowe did, the guy that does dirty jobs. And he said that there is the next labor technical boom, right? It was the oil field and oil patches in the Dakotas at one point in time. It was telecom with all the, LE, LTE and 5G and everything else. And now it's data centers. And these guys are job hopping like crazy because they cannot hire enough electrical installers and equipment installers. And he said these guys are making like $200 an hour. No, they make 200,000 a year. But then they can't keep or more. Oh, that's where it was on the Sean Ryan. Yeah. So if anybody knows anybody, and I'm familiar with a company here in Richardson that's building equipment for the hyperscalers and that sort of thing. And yeah, they can't pump equipment out fast enough. So there's opportunity there for somebody who can and is willing to get their hands dirty, but actually not too dirty because it's electrical install. Thanks.
Yes, in that interview, he said Meta is actually training. They're doing paid training with guaranteed jobs. It just needs to be pushed out there. People need to know about it. And he talked about welding and everything else. It's just like, it's crazy. There's a boom and there's nobody applying.
We had that one guy from here. Got the job in SpaceX.
Yeah, he's no longer there though. He is no longer there.
I'm advising younger people to learn a trade rather than go to college. An electrical engineer does not make as much money as an electrician today. And so the trades, that's where the jobs can really, that's where we'll always need an electrician. I don't know anything's going to replace that for a while. You'll need a plumber. You're going to need somebody to fix, all those kind of things. So those are the hot things. And you spend an awful lot of money and go into debt to go to college and you can learn that trade. So now for us, for a welder, I'd probably set the house on fire. So I wouldn't do that.
I mean, that's a great call out about, kind of niche skills that are in heavy demand. One thing that I've learned as I've tried to get a better roster of recruiters is there are those in kind of, the white collar office area right now. Like, I don't know if you know this, but most recruiters, I'll always ask them, what are you really looking for? And almost every single one of them has said like a controller. Apparently there's like a chronic shortage of financial controllers in the Dallas market because all the recruiters are looking for them. So I guess I just highlight that to be like, there's niche skill sets, kind of like, the energy, workers in the field, in the white collar fields too. You just have to find out where those are. Number one, and it's also a way to ingratiate yourself with recruiters. If you be like, hey, I know a couple controller people that you meet at South Lake or whatever, and help connect, that could be an easy way for you to score some wins with the recruiters. Because there are those, niche things that pop up and they're, in varying places, not just in the oil fields.
I have a question for everybody. Next month is the big hiring event out at the Rangers baseball field, which has hundreds of employers. Wondering if anybody's going and looking at every one of those employers' websites now, which I've started to do, and apply for jobs that are on those, and then using that event to get a key contact at that event to get inside the company or even get secondary interviews.
It's a Globe Life.
It's a Globe Life field.
Globe Life field. So is that indoor?
Yeah,
it's a good call out, David. I plan on going, and kind of a lesson learned from last year, because I spent about 90% of my time waiting in line, for these certain companies, is do that legwork up front and then use that event for what it's going to be most helpful for, which is quite frankly gaining recruiting contacts. Because with that many people in one space, unless you're a forklift driver or an oil rigger, it's like you're not going to get a job in an event like that. But you can meet a ton of recruiters at marquee companies, and so I found that's a lesson learned for me. Don't be like me last year who waited in line, marveling the beautiful baseball stadium while I'm waiting in line, with thousands of other people. So,
and it's really good. his point is well taken though, is to go to the websites now and start applying for those jobs. And that way the homework is done and you're not you're not like wasting time. And then because there's like what they say, like 50,000 people are going to show up and there's like 1,500 employers. Yeah, make sure number one, that you're not standing in the wrong line. And then number two, you've targeted maybe just 4 or 5, and it'll be worth your time.
I make one recommendation too. Do that and then have a list, your top 5 companies, and then get there early. I mean, like be there like 7:30 or 8 in line. So as soon as you get in the doors, quickly know where those key companies are, the top 5. Start your first one, work your way down. So you're the first person to talk to that person, and then you can go on from there. You'll get to more people and you'll get to the companies you really are interested in. So that's what my action plan is going to be. I don't want to miss opportunities in any of those companies, but the top 5 I want to hit, and that's how I'm going to approach it.
Jeff, you should have jumped in. Wear your name tag. Be sure you wear your name tag, nice and legible, professional, all like that. That's a differentiation. When you meet a recruiter, they know you see your name, that you're already ahead of everybody else.
And they comment on it. You show up at somebody's table and you have your name tag on, they're like, that's a great idea. Or, you're like only the second or third person here that's actually worn their name tag. So they notice.
One other thing, and it kind of dovetails on David's point about preparing, is once you have that target list of companies, while I was wasting time waiting in line, you spend a lot of time trying to sign up on their websites, because all the recruiters will be like, hey, hit our QR code and sign up, join our talent community or whatever. And it, because of the bad Wi-Fi in the building, it takes you like 20 minutes to fill out one form. So do all that before you show up and post for jobs. And so that when you finally get to the recruiter, you can, instead of being like, hey, tell me about your company, give me your resume type discussion, you can be like, I posted for job XYZ, let's connect. Can you help me understand where a status, or help move this along? The recruiters love that because it's not the canned conversation they have about 1 million times that day, and they're usually very willing to help you. So I think that's probably a better approach to take.
Another thing you can do too is, other thing you can do is, if you know the company, what their company's looking for, is when you meet the recruiter after you introduce yourself, can I tell you a story about time that I did XYZ? And you tell them that right up front, and you get their curiosity, and they're going to remember, well, there was this one guy who told me a story about a time he did so-and-so, and it will be something they remember versus just, hi, I'm Jeff,
Great.
So nice little short 60-second story. Let me tell you a story. All right, well, what else can we talk about?
One question. Well, I guess a question for everyone in this room, but earlier I talked about, trying to get to, interview faster through referrals, using a network or your Excel spreadsheet of contacts. Any other tips or advice people have, like trying to expedite the process besides the normal apply online and third-party recruiters or, referrals? Do you have any other back pocket tricks or tips or anything like that?
Something that I started doing recently was looking for those recruiters on LinkedIn for the companies that I'm targeting and sending connection requests. And I actually got one that was really interesting, that the lady had an auto reply that said, hey, go find the job that you think you want to apply for, send it directly to me in this chat with the rec number, and I'll see so that could be another option, because that way you can also have like I said, a more polished resume versus the ATS resume that you can get directly in front of a recruiter. So that's something I've tried. It's just an experiment here in the last week. We'll see how it goes.
Other thing too, don't forget recruiting managers, because they may not be hiring the job, but they'll push it down to the person who's responsible for it. So it's not bad to reach out to those people also.
Yeah, the only thing I would mention, and I certainly don't have the keys to the kingdom on this one, but it's just like how you tap into the hidden job market, the jobs that are never posted. And that's, primarily through relationships. And so you start with your target companies and relationships, and then just ask them, hey, what's your biggest challenge right now? And, what are you guys really dealing with? And you can find out where the needs are. And some of those needs they may need help with. And so I haven't necessarily been great at that, but I've heard a lot of people having success with that.
So what was your name? Valerie? Can you explain how you got those jobs created for you? Can you explain how you said your last 3 jobs were created for you?
Okay, so the explanation around created jobs, and it is probably unique, but my point was, I definitely mass apply. I find that every time I go on a job site, I am finding 4 to 5 roles, and I do apply to 4 or 5 roles. I have like 2 resumes that I'm using. One is generic. I call it corporate strategy. That's generic. I can do stuff. But then my other one, because this round of job searching, everybody advised that you use your target position as like your title. So I do say product management. So then that became my second resume. My problem is I am a chemical engineer. My recent experience was in IT, but if I apply to an IT role, they believe I'm not technical because I'm not traditional software engineering IT. But I am technical and I do interfaces at higher levels with business teams. And so that's what I target, those type of liaison interface roles. When I was at my companies, because I am an engineer, I say, and this is silly, but I'm an engineer with a personality. I relate well with people. People who have both of those skills that like I can be a techno geek, but I also can interface with people. Then you need the people that can make the connection. Talk to non-technical people so that they're not intimidated and threatened and overwhelmed, and then talk to the executives so that they are convinced with confidence we know what we're doing. I did apply to multiple jobs. Sabre in particular, 7 jobs one morning, and I got a call from HR that said, "You've been coming through my system all day." And what she said, if you can do 7 jobs, we need you to do a different job. And my role was created. Not by me, not by me. I never would have known. I just wanted a job. My job at McKesson, I talked a lot about the thing, like, I talked to L3 Harris. They don't like me because I'm not electrical or mechanical. I'm chemical. I'm not electrical. I'm not mechanical. I'm a chemical engineer. They're not interested. But at McKesson, I defended the role of a chemical engineer. We're overarching. We coordinate all other functions, and we do. And my great story of an example that I say got me 3 jobs was when I say the chemical engineer has to, I said, if we're in control, I leave it alone. If we're out of control, I report to the control room immediately. And that's true. I'm not interfering when things are going well. I step in when we all know they're not. And then I said, the job of the chemical engineer, shut down safely, no explosions, no runaway reactions, decontaminate completely. We can't send people in and they pass out from the fumes. Then I say, mechanicals, installers. It's not that they don't know what they're doing. They do. They cannot install if we're running, and they cannot go in if we're not ready. When it's safe to go in, mechanicals install. After they install, electricals connect us. It's not that they don't know what they're doing, they can't connect us. When I told that story about coordinating all functions, McKesson said, if you can get everybody's everything done, that's what we need you doing. And that was the job I had in McKesson Technology. And they changed it on day 1. They were like, we changed what we're going to ask you to do. And to the point about offering more money, it was enough. It takes me years to find a job. It's hard. When I got a job, and they automatically paid me more, I said nothing but thank you. I sure didn't say I want more. I did not. Thank you. And I continue to contribute. I think the point of my story, we talk about adding value, be compelling. I was desperate. I help us get it all done, and that became my day job. But I did apply.
Got 3 jobs created for you.
One other thought that I've seen people use is just, tap into your, the subgroup that you have some affinity to, where you think about, what do we all have in common here? We're all, job seekers, right? So we're all very willing to help each other. Find groups that are similar that may not, it could be a church group, it could be an alumni group from your college or your university, it could be a hobby group, it could be whatever, like people that are an environment of people that are like willing to help you. That's where I hear many stories about people having unlocks through those types of environments where they know who you are, that, they like you, they want to help you. And then oftentimes it just takes, connecting the dots to be like, oh, okay, there might be a job opportunity here. So just food for thought.
Anybody here use the prayer letter that Kurt Vonnemutter talks about? Prayer letter? I'll mention it to you. Okay, I'll tell you about it in just a second.
So just a quick question, just to circle back to, I didn't hear her name, Valerie. In the creation of jobs, so you applied to multiple jobs. Are they in the same department and vertical essentially within the company?
It was
Okay.
It's like,
Over the place. Or not?
it's like, no, they were not in the same business unit.
Mhm. But same level, would you say?
Skill set, yes. Like, well, if you can solve problems and,
Thank you.
It was complicated, and we can talk offline, but no, not the same business unit, but the skills. Everybody wants a problem solver. Everybody wants someone who communicates well with all levels of the organization. And that is a skill. If, like a lot of people, if you talk jargon or if people are beneath you because they don't understand your great success, but if I can talk across the bridge, right? So because I could do those core things, communication, problem solving, then they had those all over the place. That's how I got the opportunity for a new job. That woman she said, don't talk to any of those people. I said, ma'am, I'm answering all unknown phone calls. And she told me who would be calling.
Okay, let me just mention about prayer letter, and we'll end with this, and I'll put a copy of it. I'll put a one sheet handout in my thing tomorrow. Kurt Vonnemutter talks about that what you should do is the first thing you do is go through and make a list of all your contacts. Second thing you do is call each one of those contacts, let them know that you're looking for advice and contacts. You're not looking for a job, but you're asking for advice and contacts. And then the third thing you do is you send out an email he says once a month. I say you should do it every 3 weeks, every 21 days. And you blind copy everybody. And you can do it in 2 lists if you want. One list can be family, friends, and church members maybe. And the second email can go out to your professional contacts. And you say in there, great people know great things, or something like that. Just as a reminder, I'm still looking for a job as a XYZ. If you know anybody who works at companies 1, 2, and 3, please let me know. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. So you keep it real short, real simple. You send it out every 3 or 4 weeks. The first time you send it, you may not get anything. The second time you may get a phone call or 2. I know somebody who did this every Sunday, on Sunday mornings, and she would get a phone call back within an hour of sending an email. I was thinking, what about so-and-so company? Now, she wasn't sure at the time when she was sending it out. She wasn't sure what she wanted to do. She was sort of repositioning yourself. So she was asking for a real broad advice and contact list to, who else you recommend who I could talk to be a XYZ. So I'll send that out tomorrow, but what you'll find out, salespeople will tell you, and we're on sales, that it usually takes 4 to 7 contacts before they're going to remember who you are and what you're doing. So you just need to don't give up. Do it every 3 weeks, and I'll send it. Like I said, I'll put it out in the email tomorrow.
This one, I just had to tell you, I got this email or message. Okay. This is Lala from Indeed. We've identified your profile as a great match to a straightforward remote opening. Well, there's 2 lies because it was sent from Chang Xiao Hong and it didn't have all the rest of the email address. And so China is invading.
Got one yesterday. I mean,
All right. All right. So let me just sort of end there. I thank everybody. Thank you very much. Next week, John McDormand will be with us to talk about networking strategy, how to network from your network. So come join us for that. It's a really interesting presentation. This video will get uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel. Click on playlist. Every video I post goes into one of 7 different playlists. And you see the lower left-hand corner, view full playlist. When you click on that, up will come a list of all the different speakers we've had here at the North Dallas Group for the last 5 years. You can go back and watch any of those that you want at your convenience. Just remember that speakers here on Friday start about 30 minutes into the recording. Next Tuesday, for LinkedIn Tuesday, John Locke Alderson will be with us to talk about how to use LinkedIn for job hunting, strategies to get results. Next Wednesday, the practice interview team is meeting in person right here in this room at Christ United Methodist Church, Coit and Parker from 1 to 3 o'clock. And next Friday, networking with John McDormand. Today, we're going to go to Country Burger. How many people think they'll join us? 1, 2.
Hey, Jeff, I'll be there. This is Doug.
All right, great. 3, 4. Okay, so whoever gets there first, get a table for 6, and then we should be in good shape to go. Thank you very much for joining us today, everybody. Have a great Friday, and I will get an email out to everybody tomorrow.